Hey y'all, it's Shay with HPPTreasure Hot Topics. So we are here. It's our first episode, and I'm bringing you just things I want to talk about, things that are important to me, things that should be important to you, and that we should be talking about that I think most people aren't, right? I want to talk about gynecomastia and marijuana and how the two relate. And I know a lot of people out there probably have never even heard of that term. I had no idea what it was either, but I did have some slight experiences with it way, way, way in my past, which led to me wanting to talk about this today. So, let me give you some context on why I'm talking about this. So, first off, it's important to me. First off, I'm a resident of Washington, the state of Washington. I live on Camino Island, most of you guys know, which is Pacific Northwest. Washington, if you didn't know, was the very first state to legalize marijuana in 2012. Now, I'm a new resident here. I was not here back then, and I actually didn't know that either. So, I'm learning stuff as I go as well. So, that's point one. They've been getting high for years, okay, out here legally, okay. In all transparency, a lot of you know I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for a little bit over 12 years from a lot of different drugs, but marijuana wasn't my drug of choice, but it was one that I smoked a lot of. I mean, I'm talking about I smoked 20 years, probably 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day, night, every single day for 20 years straight, seriously. Not proud of that, not saying that's a brag, but just that's my truth and that's what it is. And so that's another reason why this was an important topic for me. I also have some personal stories that relates to me. You know, they're not personally with me, but they are very close to me, and so I'm going to share those, which definitely had an impact on this subject. And you know, in all honesty, I also, and a lot of people know from my past, I did have a cosmetic surgery. I did have a breast augmentation. I actually had 3 of them, and so that relates to this subject too. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So that all together brought me to this. And so I will start out by saying, as we know, all the states are slowly legalizing marijuana. I don't know how many exact states. I had it pulled up, how many states right now have legalized marijuana, but that's not really the importance that I'm going to talk about. But we all know that eventually all 50 states will probably legalize it for recreational use. Fine and dandy. I smoked for 20 years. I don't anymore. It makes people happy. There's medical benefits to it, whatnot. I'm not hating. No problems with that. What I think my concern is the effects of it, the long-term effects of it. We all talk about, you know, alcohol makes people drunk. It kills people, you know, different drugs, heroin, crack. It does all these things. And I know I've heard numerous times, oh, marijuana doesn't do anything. You just, you know, you get high, you want to eat, you laugh, you go to sleep, right? That was my experience. But obviously, anything that's not natural, I'm not saying that marijuana is not natural, right? It's comes from the ground, right? But I mean, anything that's not innately natural to the human body is going to have some type of effect on the human body, whether it's your mind, your body, whatever, right? And so that is where this all led to. So I want to start out by saying that, of course, we know that there's edibles, there's the different oils now. I mean, there's like deodorant, there's soaps that got hemp and THC in, and there's everything that has THC in it now. And I think just learning about how that's affecting our body is important, right? Like it's important since it's going to be like a thing that you can literally go into a store and get it off the shelf. So I want to start out, you know, I'm coming with receipts, y'all. You know, I'm not going to come and tell y'all nothing without no receipts. So I definitely did my research. And as I dug, I found some more stuff that I had no idea about that is like mind blowing. So the first thing I want to talk about is edibles. So the THC in edibles, they actually have done some studies on, now, you know, whenever they do trials and studies, they first start doing them on animals first before they start doing them on humans. And so I'm going to start out by sharing my screen because I want to show you guys this that I found as I was doing research on gynecomastia. And don't worry, we're going to get into that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Lord help me. I always got to pray about this because sometimes I be messing up, y'all. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, boom. So let me see, make sure let me get on here. Okay, so this is I'm always coming from scholarly resources. Those you don't know what I mean is I'm not coming from Google. I'm coming from actual like scientists. This is from Oregon Health and Science University, right here. Boom. So y'all can see I'm not coming from just Google. And I don't want to go through the whole article, but this article says chronic marijuana use negatively impacts male reproductive health, may decrease testicular function. Okay, we know what testicular means. I don't got to go into that, do I? I hope not. Okay, Google it. So, but this is what I want to sum up, and this was so crazy for me, y'all. They ended up doing trials and studies, right, on primates, right? So I'm guessing monkeys, something to that effect, right? They always go there first, or mice or pigs or whatever. So this is non-human primates. The non-human primate, all of reproductive age with a history of proven paternity and no prior exposure to cannabis, received a THC edible once daily over the course of 7 months. Their THC dose was based on published medical marijuana acclimation recommendations for humans and was increased every 70 days in alignment with the animal's sperm development cycle. Who y'all keep going. Dose adjustments were made until it reached the equivalent of a heavy medical marijuana dose in humans. Semen samples, y'all. Yes, I said it. Semen samples were collected at baseline before initiation of THC, so before they gave the monkeys the drugs, and again at the end of each THC dosing. Now we know how we get semen, y'all. This whole process of giving the animals the drugs and then getting the semen is just really is shocking. That's all I'm gonna say. Their findings come. Our analysis of the collected samples found that THC use was associated with significant, okay, that means a lot, y'all, adverse impacts to the animal's reproductive hormones, including decreased levels of testosterone, boom, and severe, let me say it one more time for the people in the back, severe testicular shrinkage. Whew, Lord. Specifically, we observed a greater than 50% decrease in testicular size. Lord, if I had some pearls, I would clutch them right now, child. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Specifically, we observed a greater than 50% decrease in testicular size. Okay. And so we can go, and so this is Associate Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and those are all of the resources and their credentials. And it says, unfortunately, these effects appeared to worsen as the THC dose was increased, suggesting a possible dose-dependent effect. Whew. I'm gonna let that sit with y'all, and I'm gonna promise y'all gonna get that when y'all get home. So there's that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So that's saying right now, so that's a test that they did on non-human primates, pretty much saying that they gave them edibles for a period of time of months, increased it, and then they seen that their testicular size had shrunk. Lord, I don't know about edibles, y'all. I'm straight though. I'm just gonna tell y'all that right now. So there's that. So I stumbled upon that as I was looking through the research for gynecomastia and the rest of the stuff we're going to talk about. So I couldn't believe that. So I had to share that with y'all. But I want to keep going because I want to try to keep this as brief as possible. And I want to talk about just the effects of THC and marijuana on a man's testosterone, because this is where it all starts. So I'm going to share my screen and pull this up for you. Okay. So this is the effects of marijuana on testosterone in male subjects. A reanalysis, and I'm looking at the highlighted purple. Yes, we love purple. The highlighted purple part here. A reanalysis of existing data established that testosterone levels are depressed both after smoking one marijuana cigarette and after intravenous infusion of delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, a pharmacologically active component of marijuana. So what that's pretty much saying is after you're smoking one marijuana cigarette, which is probably a joint, maybe a blunt or half a blunt, right? And after intravenous, so they must have, I don't know, I guess shot them up with the THC, which is strange. It's strange. it stays into the system. Simulation of marijuana interactive. I'm reading past the purple under the assumption that delta 9 THC inhibits testosterone production or secretion suggests a minimum of 24 hours are required for testosterone to return to pre-smoking levels. So in other words, after you smoke one time, your testosterone levels in males goes down, and it takes a minimum of 24 hours for them to go up. Now, if you know, like I know, or you used to smoke like I smoked, there was no 24 hours in between my blunt and my next blunt. It just wasn't. Like it was a continuous thing. I know there's a lot of other people, including males, that smoke every day. So this is saying that those levels are not going to go back up until there's like that 24-hour break. So this is from Science Direct. This is a journal of theoretical biology. So this is not Google. I just want y'all to know that this is the real deal. So now I've proved to you that in males, your testosterone decreases from using edibles, obviously from the monkeys, right? And they're still working on probably doing that on humans soon. But also it's telling you here that definitely smoking marijuana does decrease the testosterone. So let me tell you how my personal experience in this started. So this is a story, and I'm not even gonna say it's a funny story because it's kind of not funny. So I started smoking probably, I'm 41. I'm not scared to say because I'm cute. Okay. I'm 41, but I started smoking probably, I was kind of a prude. I started smoking like 19, 20, where everybody else was probably smoking at 12. But I was like, started smoking about 19 or 20. And so, of course, you are who you hang around, right? And so I was hanging around my little homeboys, and they smoked a lot, a ton, and I smoked a lot, right? And so I remember one of my little homeboys, and we're just gonna call him Friend A, okay? So Friend A comes to me and like my friends or whatever, and he's like kind of yoked, kind of swole, always have his shirt off, little fine thing. And was just talking to us and said, hey, one day I was smoking for whatever reason, I was playing with my nipple. Please don't ask me why he was playing with his own nipple, but whatever, okay? No judgment here. And so he was like, I was kind of messing with my nipple, and fluid white stuff came out like milk. And I'm like, what is he telling me? Is he high right now? Like, what's popping right now? And he's like, I started crying. That's my guy too. He was so silly. He's like, I started crying. And he said he went to the hospital. And when he went to the hospital and told the doctor told him that it was because of the large amounts of weed that he smoked, and that it decreased his testosterone, and thus making him have stuff come out of his breast as women would. And so I remember him telling me this. And so, like I said, this is years ago, right? Like I'm 21. So what, almost 20 years ago, pretty much 20 years ago. And I stored it, right? Like I stored it in the back of my head because I'm like, this is crazy that he's telling me this. I don't know if he's high or what he's on, but I remembered it, right? So fast forward, right? Like I don't know what happened with him or whatever happened of that, right? So life goes on. Fast forward about 5 years ago, me and my little boo thing, right? Little nice, not a large person, not somebody that's fat or heavy, what do you call it, big boned, none of that, right? Super slim, nice cut, also another one yoked up, right? I don't like them like that. Okay. And so we might be getting ready to engage, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And takes off his shirt, and I'm like shocked and almost scared, and to the point to where like I immediately like looked away. Like, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't. They were like little breasts. They were like little boobs, and I was, oh yeah, it scared me, and it grossed me out, and whatever continued to happen, and then I continued to see him, and but I was like uncomfortable with it. But of course, how do you tell somebody that? Like, how do you, especially somebody who you kicking it with and whatever, like, how do you be like, oh, excuse me, what are those? Like, what do you, like, how do you do that, right? To, also to maintain his dignity, and you know what I'm saying, as a man, right? And this is my guy, right? And so I'm making light of it, but it really is, it's actually kind of a sad thing and it's actually serious, right? So I actually talked to a couple of my close friends about it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm doing him a disservice by not keeping it real, saying something, because immediately after I had processed what I had saw, I thought about friend A years ago, with the discharge coming out of his boobs and what he said out of his boobs. Sorry. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I need to tell him about this. And of course, I'm not a doctor, and I should have said that at the beginning. I am not a doctor, y'all. Of course, y'all know I ain't got PhD, nothing. I got a lot of letters behind my name, please believe, 8, 9 of them, but I'm not, PhD ain't none of them, okay? So please, yeah, so I'm just coming from the receipts that I'm giving y'all and my personal experience, okay? So I felt like I should at least share with him, the story that I shared about friend A and what the doctor told him. And just like, maybe this is a possibility, because I also knew that friend B, who we're talking about now, also smoked a lot of weed. But friend B, I'm talking about, smoked a lot. Like, I'm talking about like 10, 15 blunts a day, lot. And I'm not even exaggerating at all. Not even yet. He had it like that. So I just put two and two together. So anyways, long story short, I talked to, my friends about it, and they kind of was like, yeah, you should say something, and just kind of, and I'll be the person to say, y'all, delivery is everything, right? It's how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I told him, and I said, I think it could be this. I think it could be gynecomastia, right? And I didn't get punched, y'all. Okay. Thank God, right? And he received it, and he went to the doctor the next day, and he went to the doctor, and shockingly enough, the nurse that, the nurse comes in first. The nurse had no clue what he was talking about, had never heard of it. And so if y'all don't know, let me be the first to tell y'all, we got Google, but doctors got their own like little Google for doctors that has all scholarly resources in it. And so he told me that the nurse pulled out her little iPad and Googled, not not the real Google, but the doctor Google, and Googled gynecomastia, and like read up on it right there with him, which is like, do I want you to be my nurse if you don't know what the heck's going on? Okay. That's a whole nother story. So, and he said that the nurse told him, I can't say that that's what this is, that is what this is, or I can't say that's what this isn't. And you have to go see a specialist. So, and I don't know, I really think obviously it was probably embarrassing, and not who wants to really keep diving into that, and who wants to know the truth about that, right? And so I didn't follow up on his journey with that and what went with that. I left it at that, and I didn't want to ask any more about it. I think I asked one more time if he went to the doctor, and I think he said no, and I let it go. But ever since then, because I seen it with my eyes, I know that that's what it was. Like, I, in my whole heart, I feel like that's what it was, because that's what it looked like, right? So that's what kind of brought this all about. So I want to go back to some more receipts so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Let me show my screen again here. And I'm going to come from the Mayo Clinic, because I'm also from Minnesota, y'all. So Mayo Clinic is where it's at. But honestly, Mayo Clinic has a lot of amazing doctors there, and and does a lot of research there. And so this is from the Mayo Clinic. Let me make sure I'm sharing with y'all correctly. Okay, yes. So this is from the Mayo Clinic. This is, make sure I say it right, galactorrhea. I think that's what it's called. Let me look at the little pronunciation real fast for y'all, so y'all can make sure, because I ain't trying. Galactorrhea. Yes, galactorrhea. That's what it's called. Okay. So in males, galactorrhea may be associated with testosterone deficiency called male hypogonadism. This usually happens along with breast enlargement or tenderness called, there it is again, y'all, gynecomastia. Erectile dysfunction and a lack of sexual desire are also associated with testosterone deficiency. So that galactorrhea is friend A, the stuff coming out of his breast. That is what that is. And right, I'm going to go to now And that's from Mayo Clinic. So let me go to, hold on, y'all. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Got to get it together. Okay. And so then here, now we're here, okay, at gynecomastia. So gynecomastia is a increase in the amount of breast gland tissue in boys or men. An imbalance of hormones, estrogen and testosterone causes it. Gynecomastia can affect one or both breasts, sometimes unevenly. So this is not just from marijuana. It could be from a ton of other things. And as we scroll down, there's a lot of symptoms. There's a lot of causes here. Like it could just be some men who are, are bigger in weight. It can be from that. You see gynecomastia in infants during puberty, adults, certain medicines, right? But let's get to what we talk about. Recreational drugs, illegal drugs, and alcohol. Substances that cause gynecomastia, and boom, bam, thank you, ma'am, there. Okay? So, once again, I'm not out here saying that it's just marijuana, but marijuana does have a huge effect on it. As we scroll down, prevention, boom, right there. You just might want to read it and read it 2-3 times. You might want to let it go. I mean, I'm not telling you to let it go, but I'm telling you to let it go. So there's that. So we have two things that we see. I've shown y'all that marijuana is kind of doing stuff to our bodies, y'all. So I think knowledge is power, and it's really important that we educate ourselves, because as we see, the powers that be will not educate us, right? Like they won't do it for us. Like they're quick to make $1, and they're quick to legalize stuff, and quick to put it in the stores and make sure that everybody buys it and it looks all good, and where they get tax money off of it. But then they're not going to tell you what it's really doing to your body, right? So that's why I'm out here trying to spread the news. Okay, so now there's that. Now I want to get into, and I'll tell you right now, really quick. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to show y'all some pictures, and this is going to be coming from the National Library of Medicine. So let me get back to my little screen share. Hold up, y'all. Okay, so let's see. We go right here. Okay, boom. So we're on the National Library of Medicine. And this is telling more about gynecomastia, but this is going to show us pictures. So now, once again, viewer discretion is advised. Y'all, these pictures get so gross. So I'm really going to let y'all know, get ready for it, okay? I was going to try to make it a little bit smaller just so it don't really, because it's not cute. Okay, so this is the gentleman that has before gynecomastia. This is the gentleman after he's had the surgery. The surgery is apparently just like a breast reduction surgery, just like women get. I myself, like I said, I've had a breast augmentation, which means you get bigger ones, right? Either way, a chest surgery is a lot. Either way, a chest surgery costs. My first one was $4,000. My next one was $8,000, right? Mine involved implants, not right. So, but it's a very costly surgery. And so I'm just putting that out there just so people understand, like, okay, is like smoking blunts worth it? I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I ain't judging nobody. So let's keep rolling, because I want to keep this brief. Here is another gentleman, as you can see, where you can kind of see the breast tissue, and this is after his surgery. Now, as I keep going, it's going to get a little more graphic, y'all. So this is, oh Lord, y'all, here we go. Okay, this is a little bigger gentleman. This is the before. This is the after. Yes, that is a gentleman. Yes, that is a man, his body. Okay. And it's going to get graphic. And actually, this is a 13-year-old boy, as you can see, was severe. He's 13. That's not even a man now that I look at it. That's a child, baby. And that's terrible. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, here we go. Ooh, y'all. Surgery. That's the surgery. Ooh, and that just hurts my feelings because I hadn't had 3 of them type of surgeries. Look at, ooh, y'all. And so I'm going to keep scrolling because it's real. Ooh, it's tough to watch. It's tough. It's so tough. It's so tough. So yeah, so it's real. Okay, so this is real. This is the surgery you have to go through to get rid of this, right? And like I said, and I'll say it again, I am not saying that marijuana is the sole reason for having this. There's other things. There's people who are more prone to it than others, apparently. But it plays a role. It does play a role in your testosterone levels. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna finally, I got about 5 minutes. I want to keep it at 30 minutes, y'all. I have, of course, the people that want to make the little pocket change. I got some surgeons, websites that I'm gonna pull up who are talking about it as well, because a lot of them have seen increases in gynecomastic surgeries, specifically since different states have been legalizing marijuana. So it does kind of go hand in hand. Specifically, Colorado, I think I've seen some stats that Colorado, since 2012, has seen a 9% increase in gynecomastic surgeries since they legalized marijuana, which is 9% doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're really thinking about what we're talking about, it's a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna pull these up really quick. We're just gonna go through those really quick. Here we go. And so, like I said, we got Dr. We're just gonna call him Dr. Ali because I don't want to mess up his name. Dr. Ali, he's here trying to get that bread up out y'all. Let me scroll down here. Here's his blog, Marijuana Man Boobs. Don't nobody want to see them two words in the same sentence. Don't nobody really want to see that, right? Like, it makes you want to put the blunt down, okay? And so, and there's literally, it may seem like a mean prank of a rumor, but according to several respected research clinics like the Mayo Clinic and other plastic surgeons, it may be true. He's saying maybe. Marijuana does seem to cause enlarged male breast tissue, also known as gynecomastia. And there's more on that. Many professionals believe that it is likely that the marijuana smoking increases the chances to develop gynecomastia for those people that have an inclination to develop male breasts and not purely the marijuana. So once again, may not be 100% the marijuana's fault, but if you are a male that may be more inclined to develop this in life, and I guess older men do eventually develop it anyway, or there's a certain percentage, and within all of these resources that I provided y'all with, there are those stats. I want to keep this kind of short and brief, and so I can provide all of that, all the resources that I've shown y'all as well. So here's one. Let me get y'all to another surgeon. Now this is AirScope. So AirScope isn't necessarily surgery. I really don't. I'm not here to promote the surgeons or promote this. So I'm not really sure what AirScope actually is, but I think it's like not surgery. It's some other way to sculpt your body, and they use some type of system or something like that. But once again, exploring the link between marijuana and gynecomastia, and it talks about it. The links, the unexpected link. Marijuana can increase estrogen levels. Marijuana can decrease testosterone levels. Marijuana can lead to weight gain. How to stop marijuana-induced gynecomastia. And then, of course, they're going to try to sell you AirScope to get rid of your gynecomastia. Okay, they need to get in your pocket. So I think I have one, and I have one more here. So as you see, I'm not lying, y'all. This is real. It's not a game out here. Like, while everybody's out here trying to find every bud hut in the world and trying to be on edibles and everything else, I'm just trying to say, like, let's think about what we're doing out here, people. Okay, so here's the last one. Can smoking weed give you man boobs? It's not a game. It's not a joke, right? Grossman and Caprero or whatever your name is. What is? Come on, y'all. I mean, I ain't making up. I'm just don't shoot the messenger. That's all I'm saying. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, boom. So that's all I got. I just want to tell y'all, like, hey, recovery's okay. Recovery's good. I will say that. I ain't even gonna lie. I enjoyed my little years of smoking. It relaxed me. It made me eat good. It made me sleep good. So I'm not hating on that either. I will say, just make sure you're educated. Just make sure you're educated about anything. Like I think everybody's so quick to have followers and follow the lead and do what everybody else is doing, and then you realize that if you don't really know what you're doing, or the person you following has no clue what they're doing, you might be walking down, the wrong path. And so I kind of made light of this a little bit, but it really is an important subject, and it really is something that we need to be talking about and educating people about, just so that we are maintaining good health, right? And at the end of the day, if you know of somebody who may have this, or you may have saw this, it can be a psychological. I mean, for a man, that's a lot, right? Like that's a lot for a man to be like, hey, I'm growing breast, and who can I tell? And I can't tell nobody. But then I'm addicted to weed. And you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot, and there's so many layers in there. And so, like I said, I'm making light of it, but it goes very, very deep on so many levels, from addiction to mental health, to, just maintaining your physical health. Right. So there's a lot in there. So that's all I got. I'm reporting here today. HPPTreasure. We got hot topics. Hey y'all, the next time you toking that backwood, or you trying to grab that oil, or eat that edible, please just stop and think about what you're putting in your body, and then think about what could be coming out. Okay, this is Shay. I'm done, y'all. HPPTreasure talk. Catch us next time. We got hot topics. Hey, we going up. I'll see you next time. Blessings. Bye-bye.